Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining today. I have uploaded the slides into ReadyTalk, which is something that I haven't done before, so I'm hoping you can see them and not see my presentation, but either way, I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is technology on the horizon. I'm Jenna Coates. I'm a business development manager here with NIC Services. We also have Maria Cuevas, who's a senior business development manager, Michelle O'Reilly, another business development manager, and Mukesh Patel, our president here at NIC Services. So we kind of rotate and give different presentations each month. So you'll hear my voice a couple times, you'll hear Maria's voice and Michelle's voice every now and then. So hopefully we can continue this and you can get very familiar with our voices. Mine is about halfway there. I lost it last week at a conference, so I'm really trying to push through and make sure that I can project loud enough and you guys can hear me. So this is, I believe, the fifth webinar in this series. This one's technology on the horizon. What we're going to talk about today is technologies that have been established and have recently taken off, or technologies who have just made a bomb in this industry and just really shown that this is the way that our technology is going. So we'll talk about interactive voice response, augmented reality and virtual reality. We'll compare them and differentiate them. We'll talk about virtual assistants such as Amazon Echo's Alexa and NIC's Gov2Go. And then we will also talk about market updates, as we always do. This time we have WorldPay and their VR payments, and then we have Google's augmented reality visual positioning service. And if you haven't seen that yet, it's really cool, and we'll talk about that here in a couple slides. Again, for those of you who have just joined, I just want to say thank you for joining. Technology on the horizon is something that I think we all need to stay abreast of in this industry. Everything is constantly changing and constantly growing. So it's very cool to be in this type of industry where we can constantly see how we impact the citizens and how they use this technology to better their interactions with government. So mobile phones, kiosks, and online applications, they've paved the way for this kind of cusp on this edge of technology that we're at right now, where we're kind of jumping into this very futuristic wave of technology coming through. And so things that we're seeing come through, virtual assistants and conversational user interfaces. And the reason why this is all taking off is because citizens now expect that customized experience. So we have to keep creating technologies that the citizens want and that they'll want to continue to use, and not just download an app and see it once and then never use it again. This is something that's sticky. It's something that people are going to want to keep coming back to. And we're also seeing that government is a whole for the citizens. Citizens don't really care if it's Secretary of State, if it's Department of Revenue or Department of Natural Resources. They want to just go to this one place and be able to interact with government and get their job done. So we are trying to make that more of a citizen-centric interaction. That's what it's called, citizen-centric interaction. And all of these technologies are helping to move forward that citizen-centric interaction for government. So interactive voice response. We'll start with something that has been around for a long time. This is something where you call in and maybe you talk to a robot voice that says, press 1 for this option, press 2 for this option. So it's a technology that allows a computer to interact with humans through the use of voice and dual tone multi-frequency, or DTMF, tones via input via keypad. So you can say, press 1 for this option, press 2 for this option, and it takes you to 2 different cues that you may be in. And you may have a wait, or you may immediately talk to a person, or you may have more touch tones that you need to go through to get you where you need to be to have that interaction completed. So why would you use this? It can be used for anything from customer service, for quick mobile purchases, banking, retail, utilities, travel information, weather conditions. All of this can be very, very helpful and can take a very mundane customer interaction away from people who actually need more help. So if you just need to go somewhere and get something done really quickly and you don't really need to talk to anybody, this is a great technology to implement. So as we talk about payments, because payments is our focus for government, the 4-step process that we use with our IVR technology is to, 1, identify the caller and their payment amount. So that seems very obvious, but you have to make sure who they are and what they're paying for before you can even get through any more of this process. So you need to enter the payment information, which is typing in the credit card number or the check number and making sure that all of that is verified or all of that is correct. And then you go into the validation and payment process. So that's when the back end works. That's when it goes, okay, yes, this is a correct number. Yes, they have this amount in their bank account. Yes, we can complete that process. So that's number 3, the payment is completely processed. And then you get a confirmation read back to you as a citizen. So you say, you actually completed this payment. Thank you for your payment of this amount, and here's your receipt. And that way you know immediately that this transaction is completed and you can hang up the phone. This takes a very quick amount of time. It's not something that's going to take a long time. Obviously, if you have trouble typing in the correct numbers, that's gonna kick you back and have a little bit lengthier call time. But this is something that's very handy to have, especially if you are low on staff or budget. Next, we're going to talk about augmented reality and virtual reality, and this is something that's really cool. I'm sure you've heard these buzzwords before. Augmented reality is a technology that layers a computer-generated enhancement atop an existing reality. So what you see is maybe a phone screen, but that phone screen has images above it that shows you maybe navigation, or it shows you what's going on in this building or where you need to go. Not just a flat green and blue picture on a screen. It's actually very intuitive in how you actually see your reality, and you can move through it with this augmented images on top of it. Virtual reality is an artificial computer-generated simulation or recreation of real-life environments. So this is something where you may have to put a headset on and or go into a simulation where there's like a screen in front of you and you can actually see what's happening around you, but it's not real life. This is something that it may be a video or something that has been filmed completely in a 360, and then you jump into it like you're really there, but you're really not. So why would you use this? Maybe, like we talked about, intuitive navigation. Augmented reality is very helpful with seeing where you're at and where you're going. Real-time customer service. Wouldn't you like it if you called a customer service line and it was a real person talking to you, and it was an actual picture, an image, the real person? So it's like us having a conversation in person, but not actually having to do that. And then you also have like gaming and entertainment. Such as Pokemon Go, which took off a couple years ago and is really exciting. Now, virtual reality, you do have to have a headset, right? So, or you have to walk into a virtual reality video simulation. So you create and enhance an imaginary reality. This is for gaming and entertainment, for simulated training, such as flight trainings, driving tests. Maybe you want to take tours for tourism of museums. You can go in through retail stores and real estate. So this is really changing the real estate market when you can go through and you can have a full 360 video or image of a real estate property that you want to see, but you don't actually have to drive into town. Here's some images of what it looks like. So you can see the augmented reality visuals are really layered on top of what is really there. So you've seen this with paint colors. You've seen this with IKEA. The bottom left picture is IKEA, where you want to see what the furniture will look like in your apartment. This is very, very handy with choosing options. And the next step is to be able to pay for those options right away when you decide, yep, that looks really good in my apartment, I want it. And then on the top, you can see this is a full dashboard of an augmented reality. So this is something that's taking every single type of notification that you might want and seeing it all in one screen. So you've got all of your social media, you've got relevant articles, and then you've also got taxi information. It even shows you that one of the guys that you see on the screen is single and he's ready to talk and wants to have a conversation. And then you've got the bus and where the bus is going and what the road work looks like and how long it's scheduled to be out. And then you can also see like location and time and where you're going. You can also see on the bottom right, that's an example of the Pokemon Go. So you actually just hold your phone up, it looks at wherever you're at in real time, and then that image is put on top of your real life image. So it makes it look like something is happening that isn't really happening. These are images of virtual reality. So you can see on the top, this is a flight simulator for flight training. That comes in very handy. Obviously, you don't want to teach a novice how to fly in an airplane so they could crash, right? So this is safety issues. You can actually go in and learn the basics before you go out and learn how it really operates in real life. You can also work on simulated trainings for maybe you're under fire. We don't actually want to shoot at you, but we want to simulate that we're shooting at you so you know what to do. So this is a virtual reality training screen that you can see where he is actually in a simulator. He's not wearing a headset. On the bottom, you can see this is the Samsung Gear virtual reality. So you put the headset on. You can put the Samsung phone on the front of it. And if you haven't used one of these headsets, this is really cool. Whatever situation you want to see, maybe you want to see what it looks like going through a deep dive in the ocean, but you don't know how to swim. So you can actually put the headset on and look at what it looks like deep down in the ocean. Or one of my friends put it on, and she actually got scared of a dolphin coming at her. So it's just one of those things that's really cool, and you don't actually have to immerse yourself in that situation. You can just put the headset on and choose through the mobile phone or through this technology what image or what type of virtual reality you would like to see. Moving on through all different types of technology, that we've also seen virtual assistants and conversational interfaces come up and just take over. You've seen Google, Amazon, all of these different types of conversational interfaces that have exceeded from just a GPS talking at you. Now you can have a conversation and figure out what you are wanting, and that Siri is also another example of that as well. So Amazon Echo, Alexa continues to gain popularity. This is something that is a major buzzword in pretty much all of retail right now. So it is a personal assistant. It's transforming the way that we all interact with information. Instead of having to go look for information, you know, I'm a child of the Google age where I could go and type in the information in the internet and I can see what it actually looks like or what the definition is or what the types of articles may be. But this will actually tell it to me. So I can be doing multiple things at one time, and who doesn't love to be able to have a hands-off approach to getting answers where you could cook or you can be feeding your baby and you can get the answer that you may need. You can also have skills that launch to the Amazon Echo, and these skills are kind of like apps, but it's things that you want Alexa to learn or to be able to do. And NIC here, we have created multiple government-centric skills allowing citizens to practice, such as driver's license exams, obtain certifications and permits, access Amber Alerts. All of that is information that we need as citizens to be able to interact effectively with our government. And so it's important that we as governments continue to create technologies that interact with the things that the citizens are using. And they're using Amazon Echo. We also created something called Gov2Go. So this is NIC's personal assistant. It is an application that you download on your phone. It keeps up with all of your civic duties. So your elections, your property tax payments, your anything that you may need to do with government, when your driver's license expires, when you need to renew your tags or your vehicle permits. All of that can be done on Gov2Go itself. So what it has is it actually has a timeline, and it takes out the siloed portion of government. You don't have to go specifically to this one office at this one place to get this one thing done. You can do it all in one place. So, and you can do it all from the comfort of your home or multitask like I do all the time. So it is available now in multiple states. We're using it in Colorado, Arkansas, and Nebraska. We are continuing to roll this out to multiple states as well. So if your state is interested, please get in touch with us and let us know that you are ready to launch Gov2Go for your citizens. And this is a very easy thing to do. It's something that we can walk you through and we can help you with, and it's something that you should be providing for your citizens and able to encourage them to complete their civic duties in a timely manner without having them have to write it down. It will tell them on their own. So now jumping into market updates. Two market updates that we have that really caught my eye is WorldPay demoing their virtual reality payments. Now note that this isn't the first virtual reality payment. MasterCard actually came out about a year ago and did the same type of thing, but the way that WorldPay did it is a little bit more intuitive for this commerce. So commerce in this is augmented or virtual reality that needs payments. So you can walk through a retail store or you can actually simulate a retail store from home, and you can see, okay, Lowe's is selling this screwdriver for X amount of money. I need the screwdriver. I'm going to pay for it. So it's anything where a transaction under it's actually $39 or $30 euros needs nothing than selecting your virtual card or entering the PIN to authenticate. So with this technology, obviously, we didn't want to have to type in a PIN number, so WorldPay created something called AirPin, where in the simulation, you can actually enter your PIN number through a virtual keypad. That way, you select which card you want, you type in the PIN number, and the transaction is completed right before your eyes. The other one is Google's augmented reality visual positioning service. So Google's augmented reality tech, VPS is another way of saying it. It's just the acronym. It combines Google Maps, phone sensors, and the camera to generate precise positioning of the user. So what this means is you can actually go into a store or get to a store, and they were quoted saying GPS gets you to the door, VPS gets you to the item. So it's for Google's Tango platform. It's smartphone-based. You can go into stores that are actually launching it right now. Lowe's is one of them that's doing it across the nation. There's a couple other stores. IKEA is looking into it, where you can actually purchase that item from your screen once you actually find it, which is that VPS system. Instead of just walking down the aisles or anything like that, you just follow directions on your phone, and it takes you directly to that item. So you can see where it is. You can get that interaction done quickly and efficiently. Sorry. Okay, I've talked really fast, but a couple other notes that I made after reading a couple things for market updates is we all know in 2014 Facebook purchased Oculus. They are now talking about unveiling their virtual reality and augmented reality Facebook spaces. So I think this is going to be really cool. Facebook is continuing to be at the forefront of technology, and that's something that's very exciting for all of us. Hopefully we will be able to see Facebook spaces coming out pretty soon. And then, yep, I think that was it. Okay, so I'm going to unmute the line for everybody.
The conference has been muted. The conference has been muted.
Maybe. I'm trying. Go ahead and type it into the Q&A message box, and I will answer as you go. Just so a heads up for you guys, our next webinar in July is July 19th. Same time, it's a Wednesday at 10:30, and we will be talking about security, and this one is called Breaking Down the Hard Stuff. So really getting into an entire quarter on security and how important it is to be able to communicate that from a government standpoint to a citizen standpoint, and even just to learn it ourselves. So we will be talking about that Wednesday, July 19th at 10:30, and I believe you'll be hearing Maria's voice on that one. I haven't received any questions, so I'm going to assume there are none, and I will go ahead and hang up the phone. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you have a great day and a happy 4th.